6 Unsolved Mysteries of Ancient Egypt. The Lost Labyrinth of Egypt. A massive 2-story tall labyrinth was discovered in Egypt 2,500 years ago. Inside, there were an incredible 3,000 separate rooms, all connected by a serpentine maze of corridors so complicated that no one could find their way out without a guide. At the bottom was an underground level that functioned as a tomb for monarchs, and at the top was a colossal roof formed of a single big stone. Numerous ancient writers recounted seeing it personally, yet we still don't know where it is 2,500 years later. The closest thing we've uncovered is a vast 300-meter wide stone platform that some believe was originally the foundation of the labyrinth. If it is, though, the main stories have been lost to time. In 2008, a team of georadar specialists surveyed the plateau and discovered a subterranean labyrinth similar to the one described by ancient scribes. Nobody has ever uncovered it or visited the inside as of yet. We won't know for sure whether we've discovered Egypt's greatest archaeological wonder until someone enters the labyrinth. The unknown Queen of Egypt. Archaeologists discovered the tomb of a lady buried among the ancient pyramids of Egypt's Old Kingdom in 2015. Inscribed on her grave were both the wife of the king and the mother of the king. When this woman was alive 4,500 years ago, she would have been one of the most powerful people on the earth. She would have wielded more influence than any other woman in the country. And no one knows anything about her. Historians have called her Kentakawes III, supposing she was Queen Kentakawes II's daughter. They assume she was the wife of Pharaoh Neferefra and the mother of Pharaoh Mekahur, although they don't know for sure. If Kentakawes III was her name, nothing we've ever uncovered has ever made any mention of her. The hidden chamber of the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid of Giza was erected 4,500 years ago for Egyptian pharaoh. It is a huge edifice that is almost 150 meters tall and was constructed using more than 2.3 million stone pieces. Yet, until recently, it appeared as though there were just 3 rooms inside. That's why, in November 2017, a crew surveyed the pyramid to check whether they missed anything. Sure enough, they discovered traces of a vast secret chamber, as enormous as the pyramid's largest room above the Great Gallery. The Egyptians purposefully designed the secret room to be entirely inaccessible. There are no connecting corridors or routes. The only way they could have put anything inside was to fill the chamber while building the pyramid and then shut it up. We have yet to view the inside of the concealed room. But whatever was within, Pharaoh Khufu didn't want it to see the light of day. The mummy wrapped in a foreign book. In 1848, a man purchased an ancient Egyptian mummy from an Alexandria merchant. He displayed it as a decor for several years, not realizing what a strange relic he'd discovered. Scientists discovered something very unusual after peeling off her bandages some decades later. The mummy had been encased in the linen pages of a book, which had not been written in Egyptian. It took years of research to determine what language it was written in, but we now know it is Etruscan, the language of an ancient civilization that once lived in modern-day Italy. The writings wrapped around this mummy comprise the longest Etruscan text yet discovered. However, there are still many unsolved questions. For starters, researchers don't know what the writing says. They only comprehend a few sentences, which appear to be dates and god names, and we can only surmise as to what it signifies or why somebody would wrap it around a dead corpse. Above all, we don't know why an Etruscan book was wrapped around an Egyptian mummy. Was she Etruscan in origin? If that's the case, what was she doing in Egypt? And what did she announce in her final message? The DENDERA light. A large relief depicting a weird scene may be seen on the wall of a temple at DENDERA, Egypt. According to common perception, it depicts a serpent in a large ball of fire flying out of a lotus blossom while being supported by a pillar with human arms. This was a strange image, and not only because the pillar has arms. It just so happens to be a replica of a Crookes tube, a sort of early light bulb created in the 19th century. In fact, it resembles a light bulb so strongly that some people believe it is a design demonstrating how to create one. The only chamber in the temple without fire-burning lights is the one displaying the DENDERA light. Except for one room, archaeologists have discovered evidence indicating that Egyptians burnt lights. So, how did they see anything if they didn't have an early form of a light bulb kept in here? And why did they bother placing such an exquisite artwork on the wall if the room was pitch black? The Lost Land of Punt. Punt is a location that appears frequently in literature from ancient Egypt. The Egyptians were fascinated by this ancient African empire, which included gold, ivory, and exotic wildlife. It was a location that the Egyptians revered and referred to as God's land. There is no denying Punt's existence. It is frequently mentioned in prehistoric texts. Even a statue of the Punti queen exists in an Egyptian temple. However, despite how significant and potent this location must have been, scientists have never discovered it. The items the Egyptians preserved are the sole relics left of Punt. Scientists, trying to find out where this kingdom was, investigated the mummified bones of 2 baboons brought back from Punt and discovered that the baboons were from the region now known as Eritrea, or Eastern Ethiopia.